Hello, and welcome to Region Locked. In October of 1998, Asmik Ace Entertainment developed and published a game that to this day still perplexes the gaming community. L.S.D. Dream Emulator is an obscure title that nobody in the West could play at the time of its release, but has since picked up a small cult following. We'll start our coverage with a quick look at L.S.D's gameplay. L.S.D. is controlled from a first-person perspective and has the player explore surreal environments. With no interactive objects, the game simply allows the player to move around the environments with simple navigation controls. The game's purpose is simple: to explore. It's possible to teleport to different environments by walking into various objects. The object itself isn't important, however, as everything will teleport the player, including walls. This teleportation is known as linking, and it's believed that walking into living creatures or surreal items will link the player to more obscure locations. The game's premise sees the player walking around a dream world. The world was conceived by the mind of Hiroko Nishikawa, an artist at Asmik Ace Entertainment who kept a journal of her dreams for over a decade. Osamu Sato, the game's director, took those dreams and conceived mechanics that would let people explore such a world. Dreams come to an end automatically after around 10 minutes. There are other ways of ending a dream, however, such as falling off of a cliff. After a dream has ended and the player has woken up, they are presented with a graph. This graph is designed to keep track of the player's dreams and will reveal the overall theme of the dreams they've had. These are tracked as upper, downer, static, and dynamic. It's also believed that previously played dreams can have an impact on the player's subsequent dreams. The graph may be based on the actions taken while sleeping, but which slot on the graph is filled seems almost arbitrary, as constantly moving or staying still has little effect on the dynamic and static trackers. Environments found in the game can change on a regular basis. The dream world is made up of a static map that doesn't change, and tunnels allow the player to travel between areas. Navigation is inconsistent, however, as walking into the same object multiple times can teleport the player to different locations. On top of that, the textures in each environment can also change. These textures may even change while the player is near them, such as eyes appearing on walls that stare at the player. After a number of days dreaming, the game allows the player to re-explore old dreams. This is one of the only ways to see the same dream twice, as the game's randomized nature doesn't allow for easily repeated interactions. While normal dreams last 10 minutes, revisited dreams seem to only last around 3 minutes. Some dreams are non-interactive and are just videos the player can watch. These are so far-fetched that they only serve to increase the confusing nature of the game. Some dreams even remove the video aspect altogether and are simply black screens with Japanese characters covering them. These screens tell stories and can often seem to make little sense. The game's producer, Osamu Sato, wrote the soundtrack for the game himself. The game contains over 500 different patterns of music, which change depending on the dream's theme. These patterns are just a number of variations of the same simple tunes and use a collection of different electronic sound effects. The soundtrack was given away with the limited edition release of the game as a bonus CD called Lucy in the Sky with Dynamites. This is a parody of the Beatles track Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which was also known for having the acronym L.S.D, albeit unintentionally. A book containing excerpts of the Dream Journal, written by Nishikawa, was also given away with this limited edition release. Each excerpt is presented alongside a piece of artwork created by various artists. A second album of the game's soundtrack was released on 2 CDs in Japan under the Japanese techno label Music Mine. Titled L.S.D and Remixes, not only does this soundtrack include music found in the game, but also features remixes performed by multiple artists. This includes British IDM pioneer Mike Paradinas, Finnish jazz performer Jimmy Tenor, and Japanese DJ Ken Ishii. Many people incorrectly took the game's title, L.S.D, to be a reference to the drug lysergic acid dithylamide, also known by the street name Acid or L.S.D. This is likely because of the game's trippy nature, which parallels the effects of taking L.S.D. The title's L.S.D acronym is given different meanings throughout the game and related material, but at no point is it stated to be a reference to drugs. The acronyms that are actually used include In Life, the sensuous dream, and In Limbo, the silent dream. It's commonly believed that the game has no ending. Some players found a file titled ending.str on the game's disk, which is a type of PlayStation video file. This led to discovering that after going through 365 different dreams, the game will actually play this file. However, the video itself is confusing and seems to have no relevance to anything in the game. It is speculated that the video symbol symbolizes a Hatsuyumi. In Japanese culture, a Hatsuyumi is the first dream somebody has in a new year. It's considered good luck to dream of 3 things in particular: Mount Fuji, a hawk, and an eggplant, the 3 items shown in the game's ending. After the clip is finished, the day counter seen on the game's main menu will reset back to day 1. The game received a cult following after Let's Play videos began to surface on YouTube in 2009. Players were intrigued by the strange and confusing worlds they were shown. One fan of the game, Figglewatts, even created an unofficial remake of the game called L.S.D. Revamped. Still in early alpha, the unofficial remake plans to introduce new features such as original areas and mod support. The reason for the game's lack of localization in the West has never been confirmed. However, it's possible that there simply wasn't a market for this type of game in the 1990s. Osamu Sato had previously created a game called Eastern Mind: The Lost Souls of Tong Nao. The game had a similarly bizarre presentation and is believed to have sold poorly in the West. The title even had a sequel, Chu Teng, that never left Japan. It's possible that the poor sales of Eastern Mind in the West indicated that it wouldn't be worth the investment to release L.S.D. and Chu Teng outside of Japan. However, L.S.D. did receive a digital release on PSN in 2010, again restricted only to Japan. With digital distribution allowing for publishers to release region-locked titles to wider audiences for little investment, it seems curious that the game never made it to digital stores in the West. The once Japan exclusive Shoeniki Kyukyoko Muteki Jinsha Saikyo Otoko was released on the US PlayStation Store in 2010. Interestingly, the game was untouched and had all of its original Japanese text intact. This seems to relate to Sony's policies regarding PS1 classics on the PlayStation Store. Previously, Capcom had issues with a Sony policy that didn't allow changes to be made to PS1 classics. Capcom wanted to modify several textures to remove previous product placement in Mega Man Legends, but ended up resolving the legal issues with the copyright holders instead. Shoeniki's lack of translation lines up with this policy, and could mean that Japanese games aren't allowed to update their contents if they're published as PS1 classics in the US. If that's the case, L.S.D. had several text-heavy dreams that would need to remain Japanese, assuming it was brought to the American PlayStation Store. If Osamu Sato believed that understanding these messages was integral to part of L.S.D.'s experience, he may have opted to not bring the game to the West. We decided to contact Osamu Sato to comment on the game's lack of localization, hoping that he could give us some insight. Sato confirmed to us that L.S.D. never came to the West because it was expected to sell poorly outside of Japan. However, he didn't know why the game was never brought to the American PlayStation Store, and implied that that decision was down to Sony. There was another region-locked game we covered that had a very intrinsic Japanese feel to it. Why not take a look at our last video covering the mysterious Murasame Castle? If you've enjoyed this video, I hope you consider liking it and subscribing to this channel for more facts and trivia. My name is Dazz, and this has once again been region-locked. And if you're still here for some reason, we're going to be doing a live stream of L.S.D. Dream Emulator over on Twitch once this video goes live. The link will be in the description below. If this video's been out for a while, we probably won't be streaming it anymore, but why not follow us on Twitch so that you can tune in for our future streams.